This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I'm your host, cover everything sport, international and local. The team is here and they're all tuned in live on Instagram at Omar Adori, giving me the comments. Already we're starting since I posted yesterday about this show. People have been responding like crazy, and I appreciate you guys because you make it what it is. And shout out to everyone else who's tuned in, whether it's 95 FM, Pulse95Radio.com, our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority, if you're chilling at home watching us live on YouTube. Okay, right. So the question of the day, and I think you guys are going to love this one, is your mental diet more important than what you feed your body? I'm going to ask that one more time. Is your mental diet more important than what you feed your body? The thoughts that you feed your mind all day dictate how you conclude the day. So think about that in terms of nutrition for the mind compared to nutrition for the body. We're talking about that. And also in modern sports, athletes have enough on their plate. The money, the fame, the expectation. But is it better if they manage their own deals or leave it to the agents? Another crazy topic that we're going to be talking on the Halftime Show. Some even keep it in-house. Like Messi, for example, with his father. Or Kane, with his brother. Or De Bruyne by himself. See, all these athletes have their own way of managing their contracts and their deals. But what do you think is right? Text us on 4215 Itasalat or slide into my DMs at Omar Duri and let me know, and I'll be talking about that on the show. Okay, don't go anywhere. Here's some Mamacita Black Eyed Peas and we'll be right back. Enjoy, folks.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Let's get ready to rumble. You know what time it is. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international and local. Right, okay. Topic of the day, is your mental diet more important than what you feed your body? Now, I've had a lot of responses on Instagram, people really jumping on this one, mainly for the fact that it has a lot of weight on it. Now, we talked about the importance of nutrition when it comes down to longevity and actually sustaining, a healthy lifestyle. But we've also spoken about mental health and gut health and how important the two are. Now, if we combine the two and spoke about how your gut is the second brain, now we're kind of going somewhere with it. And what you feed your thoughts are something that are very important to dictating what kind of day you have. From the distractions, from, all the obstacles that you face during the day, we often find ourselves challenged by 1, 2, 3, even multiple things. And upon getting challenged by those multiple things is the thoughts we feed our mind. Sometimes it's at our own cost, sometimes it's external. Whether it's internal or external, it's still something that requires practice. And through practice, we've always spoken about how being kind to yourself, self-love, self-talk, meditation, breath work have all been tools we have spoken about on the Halftime Show. And so therefore, if the second brain is in the gut, and that helps control your brain, then all of a sudden we're onto something. There's so many things that are happening that we need to take control of, especially after the pandemic, especially after things that we do at work, people have lost their jobs, people have lost loved ones. But now more than ever, our mental thought, our mental health, and our mental fitness is something that people are speaking about. How valuable are they going to be in gaining the perfect mental diet? If your mentality is causing you anxiety, you are far more likely to suffer from comfort, sleep, or even feeling lethargic. But making better choices promotes better feelings, which helps control your mood. So what can we do to be able to do that? Breath work is definitely one thing. If you haven't seen episode 200, Wim Hof actually helped me through COVID. And when sometimes we struggle with breathing, that is something that specifically it requires to settle you down or disconnect, disengage. There's so many factors when it comes down to breath work. Meditation. Now, whether you're spiritual or not, and whether you're religious or not, culture-wise, one thing you can do is be spiritual with yourself and take time out from everything and all the stresses that we face to be able to achieve, a nice, calm, zen, controlled manner. The nervous system works in a crazy way. So feeding your mental nutrition the right way with the right thoughts helps that. Ice baths we've spoken about, sauna, breathing, being able to speak to a loved one, being able to even be in the presence of someone that doesn't require you to speak, yet at the same time can help ease your mind. All these factors are things that really help with your mental diet. What do you do to get your mental diet on point? Text me on 4215 Etisalat or slide into my DMs. You know what? At the moment now, my Instagram has been going crazy since I posted that yesterday about mental diet. But people were straight on and really, really good at catching on to what I was talking about. And I asked, is it as important as feeding your body with nutrition? Now, all of a sudden, thoughts versus nutrition requires that kind of mindset to be able to get us to think in a way of, how do we get ourselves in the right frame of mind despite all the challenges we face? And that is the segment on mental diet and whether it's just as important as feeding your body with nutrition. Let me know, 4215 Etisalat, or do shout out to Jason and Noor, Masoud, Mimo, Aboud as well, AJ. Who else we've got here? Sergei, Mufida said, Flo, of course, he's on his run at the moment in New York and he's always tuned in, which is great. Actually, comment coming in here from Aboud, and that is, hold on, let me just read that out. Mind controls the body, the thoughts are everything, and can consequently influence what you feed your body. Spot on. And Mufid agrees with him on that one. Hope you guys are doing great. And listen, we'll be right back after the break. Let's enjoy some WizKid Essence, and I'll see you very, very soon.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Yes, we are back and we are live on the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international, local. A lot of people sending in their comments through on the Instagram live at Omar Adori about Cristiano Ronaldo, but don't worry, I'll be talking about that in segment 3 and a lot of the pressures that come with it. Right, okay. Should athletes represent themselves or should they leave it up to the agents? Now, I say this because in the modern game now, there's a lot of athletes actually representing themselves or going with agencies to allow them to represent themselves so they could be registered. Now, we've seen Kevin De Bruyne negotiate his own deal. We've seen people like Raheem Sterling. We've seen Harry Kane have his brother do it for him. We've seen Lionel Messi have his father do it for him. But what do you guys think? Is that something that athletes should just focus on playing the sport performance, or should it be something where they actually sign up with someone that's legit? We've had the sports agent on the show, shout out to Saif as well, who has represented many athletes and also made some big deals as well. But as I was looking at this, and I thought this was very, very interesting, Rock Nation, Jay-Z's Rock Nation, very, very interesting that they have athletes under their agency who represent themselves. Axel Witsel, if you know who that is, that's one of the players. You've got, who else is on here? There's a lot more on here. Finley Corrigan, Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku, Noham Abdullahi. You've got Tyrone Mings. Quite a few players, and Tyrone Mings is a friend of the show's as well, quite a few players that are on the agency that normally would negotiate their own deals. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I look at that, I think, look at how sports has changed so much now. Now we're actually talking about athletes sitting on a table with their own teams, the manager or the club or the chairman, and discussing their contract. Now, unless they've studied this, how do we know if they're not being conned, if maybe they're asking for too much or maybe even too little? Ariela Guarantes as well, she's on there, basketball player for LA. You know, there's some big people on here, and that's just the agency I'm talking about. But looking at that, I wonder how, let's say, for example, you see an athlete and you see them sitting down with, just put it this way, sitting down with their manager and their chairman, and the club offering him a deal, a contract, and him saying, no, I want more. And they go, okay, how much more do you want? It's $300,000 a week. And I want a signing on fee. And I want an agent fee. Hold on, agent fee, that's me. So I want that agent fee as my deal as well. All of a sudden, you have the right, because normally the clubs would allocate that money towards the agent. So they see, there's so many things here that all of a sudden change when you represent yourself. And this was something I was thinking about regarding Kevin De Bruyne, who recently, in himself, I think the highest paid player at City, by negotiating his own contract. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Who do we have here? A lot of the people on Instagram are talking about CR7 at the moment. Cristiano Ronaldo is literally trending everywhere. Mimo saying Martial needs love in games. I think he's not going to get that with Oli, Rashford, CR7, Sancho, etc. in front of him. There's still more talk about CR7 that's coming up after the break. Mufid, honestly, depends on the agent. Some agents, like Safe, you mentioned, massively look after the players, and some agents, no names, are so-called super agents that get up to 10 million for a deal. Yeah, Mino Raiola. I'll say that wholeheartedly. Like the Haaland deal that was supposed to go for around rumored 800 to 900,000 a week plus agent fees for him to go to Chelsea was turned down. That's insane. That also tells me that the player could have got that. Interesting. Sergei, it can be both, but better to concentrate on sport and have someone to cover your back. But there's a lot of stories when agents cheated. Example, Alexander Hleb, ex-Barcelona and Arsenal. Yes, that's a very good point. And also, not only that, the deal that took Anelka to Real Madrid, the brothers got 4 million out of that. At a time where 4 million was a lot in agent fees, if you think about the actual sum being 23 million for the transfer fee, for the brothers to get 4 million, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money at that time. And we're talking, what, 10, 15, 20 years ago? God, I'm getting old. Yeah, but that's telling you that. Tashreeq has just jumped in the room. Natalie's just jumped in the room. And Agent Spicy's talking sense. But what do you think? Should athletes represent themselves and be their own agent, or should they just leave it up to those who have studied it and put all their investment into it? Think about that. 4215 at Salat Urdu. Coming up next, we do have a roundup of sports. At the moment, Cristiano Ronaldo's trending, so that's what we're going to be talking about as we get back from the break. Here's some We Made It Her. Enjoy.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. It's that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international, local. If you're just tuning in and kicking yourself for missing the show, don't worry, you can catch all of our podcasts on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, or if you prefer a visual, shout out to Super Mario and Gabby. You can head over to our YouTube channel and we have all of our episodes on there on the Pulse 95 radio page. Okay, right. So, Mufid, you asked the question. I'm going to scroll up here because there's quite a few people that are dropping their comments in here. And I think the question was about Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, let's just find it here. Hold up. Okay. Many called him a failure for not delivering the Champions League, but what do you think he is going to do for the season? What are your thoughts on that? And do you think he's going to be a success? Expectations and pressures. Let us know. Okay, right. So everyone now is kind of talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo returns back to the Premier League, 36 years young with Manchester United. He has adapted his game. And this is what I was thinking earlier as well. When people call him a failure for not actually hitting the heights that he has set, the incredible heights he has set in his career for Juventus by not delivering, the league or Champions League, etc. I find that hard to believe. Remember, football is not tennis. It's not an individual sport. It's a team sport. So when they lose, people are very quick to point fingers. But when they win, all of a sudden, they start to talk about the manager, they start to talk about the star players, etc., etc. So I don't think actually that Cristiano Ronaldo was a failure when he was out in Juventus. I think he's to be able to adapt and move to so many different leagues. I think that is full credit to him at the moment now. Now, how is he going to play at United? That's a very, very good point. And I think also from what Rashid was saying, Martial on form, do you see him starting on Saturday, or how his season is going to be, I think is what you meant. Now, again, we've seen players excel for their countries, but not necessarily for their clubs. And you have to be given the opportunity to be able to do so. But when you purchase players like 75 million or 80 million or 30 million or 40 million, unfortunately, those players are going to take priority. Now, my thing about Cristiano Ronaldo and being at Manchester United is whether he starts him or he doesn't, will he have the character, I'm talking about the manager here, to pull him out of the pitch or bring him on the pitch at the right time? Because we all know the fantastic attributes that Cristiano Ronaldo has. But the problem with that is Will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who actually was his teammate, be able to pull off Cristiano Ronaldo after 70 minutes if it's 0-0 or if it's 1-1 and they're not, or if it's 1-0 and they're losing, to bring on a Greenwood, a Martial who's been in great form for his country? That is where I'm kind of looking into it, because right now with the team that Manchester United have, I think we can all agree they should be challenging for the league title. But the point is, in the Premier League especially, people find you out very, very quickly. And if they're cutting out the supply to Cristiano Ronaldo and being able to, to slow down United, would Ole be able to bring on a Cavani for Cristiano Ronaldo? Or will he keep Cristiano Ronaldo on regardless? And the reason why I say this is because for a very long time, when Mesut Ozil was at Arsenal and Arsene Wenger refused to take him off until like 5 minutes to go, the crowd were on his back. Ozil wasn't happy, and it was too late for that substitution. So I wonder if Ole will be able to take him off and have the personality to do so. The comments are coming in. Hold on, let's see. Still got cookie emojis on here. Mufid, okay, so they're asking where a certain player that I coached, where he is. Tashreeq is saying, check if you can get them in the MENA Cup 2022. Might do that. AJ is asking, hold on, let me just put on some music for you, AJ. AJ is asking, how bad would we look if we played against the team you are coaching? Now, listen, shout out to Condado, by the way, my team that I'm coaching. We're still early days. We still have a lot of work to do. So ask me in a couple of months and I'll let you know, AJ. There you go. There's the proper answer that people never give you the direct answer. Florin, CR7 is old. He is back to mentor the current squad. See, that's a very, very good point. I kind of like that, Florin. Florin's a Man United fan from New York. I like the fact you've chosen that angle. The reason why, because everyone is expected Ronaldo to come in and absolutely blow the roof off the stadium. A lot of people are saying that they're really annoyed that the kickoff's at 3 p.m. And as you know, the 3 p.m. kickoffs in the UK are not being televised. And that's why they're talking about this 3 p.m. blackout, which they're trying to cause just a stir about in the UK. I like the way you've thought about that, Florin, though, because with Cristiano, I wonder if he played the second game, if Ole would have rested him for Newcastle and then played him in the game after that. Let's see. I don't know. Now he's been back for 9 days, so I'm sure he has to start. Cavani, Greenwood, Sancho, Rashford, and CR7. That sounds like a crazy attacking line. I'm not gonna lie. What's up, Shouts? I see you, my man. But yeah, everyone now is anticipating. And poor Newcastle, man. The first game that Cristiano's back, and it's at Old Trafford and it's against them. Steve Bruce must be thinking, what do I have to do to catch a break? Especially now that we're looking at, I would say, probably the best United side for the last 9 years, 8 years, 10 years, maybe even. What do you guys think? I think so. I think the best United side for 9-10 years. If they don't win anything, God, the pressure's on there. Florin is saying, I love United, I love CR7, but his role now will be similar to Ole's United role. Wow. So do you think he's going to be more of a leader and less of a player? Interesting. Well, if he gets a penalty, Tashreeq, is Ronaldo taking it? That is the question. Rashid, Cristiano doesn't need to adjust. He can come into any team and fit in. Look at Lukaku. He didn't need time to start his first game. I know where you're going with that, Rashid. Mind you, his first game was against Arsenal and you would have scored against Arsenal. But yeah, anyway, we won't talk about Arsenal now. Let's you know what? It's depressing me now, but talk about Arsenal. Let's enjoy Toast by Coffee. And you know what? I'll be right back after that.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. But I thank you very much for everyone who's tuned in and sending their comments through on my Instagram Live. It's so nice to be able to go back and forward with you guys and interact. And what a great show it's been. I think the topic of the day has been, is your mental diet more important than what you feed your body? And what about the thoughts you feed your mind all day? And you know what? It's had a lot of stir on that. We've also spoken about whether athletes should represent themselves and be their own agents or just rely on an agent to do that for them. We spoke about the example of Messi and his father, Harry Kane and his brother, and also Kevin De Bruyne representing themselves but being under an agency which is Rock Nation, and as we know, that is by Jay-Z. Very, very interesting topics on here. Thank you, Sergei, for connecting with us, and you can go back to work now, and Maria as well. Thank you very much. Okay, anyone thinking CR7 is old should remember only 3 months ago he outscored Lukaku by 6 goals, even though Lukaku's team won the league and Juve finished 4th. See, why do I need a co-host? You know what I mean? That's a very good point. And that also kind of alludes to my point, as I was saying earlier, about an individual sport versus a team sport, and this whole Ballon d'Or thing and who should be the best player, etc., when actually a team in itself is doing most of the work. And even following the European Player of the Year and who deserves it, Jorginho with Champions League and the Euros, etc., etc. We can go on all day with that, but that's what I'm talking about. Florin is saying, I think the agent thing is old. No one has my best interest in heart more than me, so good for the players who represent themselves. I like that as well. And I think if you're as good as Kevin De Bruyne, I think it's pretty simple. That is very, very obvious that when it comes down to that, it's pretty simple that Kevin De Bruyne goes in, speaks to Pep Guardiola, says, I'm your best player, give me what I want, and that's pretty much that done. Okay, right, so we are approaching full time on the Halftime Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Remember, you can catch every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 3 to 4 on the Halftime Show, Pulse 95 Radio. The question of the day is, should athletes negotiate their own deals? That was one segment. And the second segment was, is your mental diet more important than what you feed your body? And what about the thoughts you feed your mind all day? As for me, I'm out. I'm really, really glad you guys spent the hour with me. Thank you very much for everyone who's tuned in. And again, we got a big announcement coming up soon, a big guest coming on the show. Can't wait to share that with you. That will be done very, very soon. I will see you guys. Have a great day. Peace and love. I'm out.
If you liked this episode of The Halftime Show, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.